Good morning, my beautiful kings and queens. I hope that you guys are having a beautiful and a blessed day. So, as we all know, May is the month of mental health awareness. And I just want to cover something about people that are going through mental health challenges and based on the fact that they have been abused. For a lot of people that suffer abuse, and I don't care what kind of abuse it is, to come out and to speak on what has happened or what has transpired against you, it takes a lot of strength. It takes a lot of guts. It takes a lot of being sure of yourself, because oftentimes the people that are abused are not only victimized in the abuse, but they are victimized after the abuse. For a lot of people that have suffered, like I said, I don't care what kind of abuse it is. It could be sexual, it could be medical, it could be systemic. There's often a pressure on the victim to stay silent. There is often a pressure on the individual not to come forth and speak their truth simply because it may affect someone else's life. So it leaves the victim in a state of not wanting to speak because they are afraid that even after the abuse, that them coming out and speaking against the abuse is going to get the perpetrator in trouble, and that takes a toll on people's mental health. I think it was Maya Angelou who was sexually assaulted as a child, and she spoke and told who her abuser was, and I think he was killed or something like that. And she equivalated her speaking with someone dying. So now the victim has now been again victimized. So because she saw the gentleman face repercussions for his actions, she thought that it was her fault. She thought that by her speaking, it killed somebody. And she did not speak for years. And that is often a thing that happens with people that are abused. They do not want to speak out because they are afraid not only of what will happen to them, but what will happen to the perpetrator. So now you are carrying the weight of someone else's abuse, and you feel guilty for putting this individual in trouble. This is why women that have been raped or men that have been raped, they often keep the abuse on the inside for so many years, and we judge them and say, oh, why are they just now speaking out? It happened so long ago. You don't understand the weight of what this individual is carrying. The weight of, if I speak, I am now in danger. And if I speak against the perpetrator, I put them now in danger. And people that are abusers, they understand this dynamic. So they will often play on the person that is abused and say, well, if you say anything, I'll get in trouble. Or if you say anything, I'm going to hurt you. If you say anything, I'm going to hurt your family. And this is why people that are abused sometimes will exhibit behaviors of someone that is having a mental issue. And it's not because they are mental, it's not because they are losing it, it's because of the weight that they are carrying on the inside. So let us normalize allowing victims to speak without judgment. Let us normalize listening to what the victim says and not making the victim feel bad for speaking their truth and saying, what is going to happen to so and so, and you make these women, you make these men feel as though they are lying simply because they have waited for a period of time to speak their truth, or they have waited or they were afraid to speak their truth. And now when the perpetrator gets in trouble, you victimize the victim that has already been victimized. It's mental health awareness. We have to stop these patterns of abuse, because what ends up happening is these things just get swept underneath the rug, and then it happens to the next generation. Do you know how many people have been raped? Do you know how many people have been sodomized? Do you know how many people have been murdered? Do you know how many people have been killed? And they swept it underneath the rug, and then the abuse continues to happen. And when it finally desires to come forth, when the pain is not being able to be suppressed anymore, when the trauma is no longer able to be suppressed, it's going to mimic mental health issues. And you're going to say, why is this person withdrawing themselves from society? Why is this person don't want to be around these certain individuals? Not knowing that your child or your friend or your sister or somebody was being abused all these years, whether sexual, whether systemic, whether in any form of abuse. Abuse leads to change in personality. Abuse leads to change in the way a person interacts. Don't abuse someone and then feel some type of way because they withdraw. Don't abuse someone and feel some type of way because now they no longer want to deal with the situation, the people, the place. Let us stop normalize victimizing the victim. That has to be brought up when we're talking about mental health. It has to be brought up, because people don't just change overnight. People don't just go silent overnight. People don't just withdraw overnight. There are signs that people are being abused. There are signs that someone is being victimized. And when they come forth, now the victim has now again to be victimized for something that they did not cause, but because they spoke out against the perpetrator, you now make the victim relive the whole situation again, and now they are victimized again for speaking what happened, for telling the truth as to what taken place. You scrutinize their truth, you dissect their truth, you flip their truth to see if they're telling a lie, and then when you realize that it is the truth, you say, well, maybe, well, what did you do? What did you do? Let's not normalize that. Abuse is not justified based on what somebody has done. Abuse is not justified based on someone's color. Abuse is not justified based on someone's family dynamic. When someone speaks out against being abused, make it normal to see how you can assist the individual, not scrutinize the individual. Make it normal to see, how can I help you? How can we solve this situation? Now, are you sure? You sure that's how it happened? Are you sure they did that? Oh my God. And this is why so many people are struggling with mental health issues, because they have bottled up abuse. They have bottled up mistreatment and ill treatment, because when they say what happened, there's always those individuals, there's always those people that try to twist it, to tweak it, to make it seem like it didn't happen that way, or try to make the victim feel like they are at fault. It is mental health awareness. And if you or anybody you know is being abused, make it normal. Make it a safe space for them to speak out without being backlash. Make it a safe space for them to speak out without having out your magnifying glass, combing for any bit of inconsistencies so that you can say that it didn't happen. Abuse is happening. And we're in 2025 now. People are more emotionally aware. People are more emotionally intelligent. And people understand projection. People understand narcissism. People understand these things. So now it's not so easy now to get away with the things that we used to be able to get away with. Back in the days, uncles were able to molest, and they were able to get away with it because they understood that if I tell this victim that if you speak, I'm going to hurt your family, or it's going to mess up your family, the victim would now internalize and keep it inside. But people understand manipulation in this day and age. People understand psychological warfare nowadays in this day and age. This generation is no longer blinded by these things. So this is why you see the crumbling of the system. This is why you see people are no longer afraid, because they understand that a shift has taken place. People are more awakened, and people are more conscious, and people are not settling to be abused, because the truth of the matter is we are all human beings, and we all have the basic rights as humans. We are all here. We all want happiness. We are all here. We all want peace. We all want love. We all want joy. We want the simple things in life. And now people are understanding that they don't have to sacrifice their mental health. They don't have to sacrifice their peace. They don't have to sacrifice their self to keep up with a facade, to keep up with a charade. And anything that is in the way of your mental health, like, take this serious. Any person, place, or thing that is affecting your mental health, make it the norm to distance yourself. Make it the norm to set boundaries. Because mental health, it often stems from not being able to set boundaries. Your mental health stems from not being able to say, I don't like the way that this feels. I don't like the way that this looks. I don't like the way that you're treating me. And the moment that you're able to establish boundaries, firm boundaries, to say, wait a second here, you have just crossed the line. When you establish those firm boundaries, yes, you will be a villain in some people's story, but isn't it worth your mental health? Isn't it worth you speaking out and saying what has transpired, rather than bottling it up on the inside and internalizing that and potentially damaging your mental health? It's okay to speak out. It's okay to say, I didn't like the way that went. It's okay to say, I didn't like the way that you made me feel. It's okay to do those things. It's mental health awareness. If you don't feel right about something, if you don't feel comfortable about a certain situation, speak on it. Do not keep it on the inside. So many victims, there have been so many victims of mental health simply because they did not speak out when they were supposed to. I love you guys. I hope you guys have a beautiful and a blessed day. Be kind.